Ever wondered how different our cities would look if every vehicle on the road was electric? Picture this: a world of whisper-quiet streets, clear skies, and a significantly reduced carbon footprint. This is the promise of electric vehicles, or EVs. EVs have the potential to revolutionize our urban environments. They're cleaner, quieter, and more energy efficient than their gas-guzzling counterparts. But there's one critical factor that stands between us and this electric utopia: charging infrastructure. Charging infrastructure is the backbone of any EV system. It's the network of charging stations that keep these vehicles running, much like gas stations do for traditional cars. Without it, EVs are little more than expensive paperweights. For EVs to become mainstream, we need a robust, accessible, and reliable charging infrastructure. Yet, achieving this electric dream isn't as simple as it seems. The road to electrification has its share of bumps, but don't worry, we're here to navigate this journey together. Buckle up. Our electric dream begins with a simple shift in perspective. Imagine a city where the hum of traffic is replaced with the quiet whir of electric motors, where the air is free of exhaust fumes, and the skyline is no longer obscured by smog. It's a city where the streets are lined not with gas stations, but with charging stations, easily accessible and conveniently located. Picture a world where electric vehicles aren't just a niche market, but the norm. But as we all know, dreams are different from reality. Achieving this vision is no easy feat. The shift to electric vehicles is not just about replacing gas cars with electric ones. It's about transforming our cities, our infrastructure, and our way of life. It's about creating a sustainable future for our planet. But before we can reach this future, we need to understand and overcome the challenges ahead. And that's what we're here to explore. So let's take a closer look at the current state of EV charging infrastructure. Let's dive into the current state of EV charging infrastructure. Picture this: you're the proud owner of a shiny new electric vehicle. You're excited about the zero emissions, the quiet ride, and the savings on fuel. But now, you need to charge it. Where do you go? This is a question facing EV owners across the globe. The existing charging infrastructure, though growing, is still far from adequate. Especially in urban areas, where the demand for EVs is high, the charging infrastructure is struggling to keep up. For every gas station, there are only a handful of charging stations. And this ratio is even lower in densely populated cities. It's like having a smartphone with no charging outlets in sight. You might have the latest, greatest technology in your hands, but without the ability to power it, it's as good as a paperweight. Moreover, charging an EV isn't as quick and convenient as filling up a gas tank. It can take anywhere from 20 minutes to several hours depending on the type of charger and the vehicle model. This means that even when charging stations are available, they can't serve as many vehicles per hour as a traditional gas station. And let's not forget that not everyone has the luxury of a private garage or driveway where they can install a home charger. In multi-unit dwellings or apartments, where residents share parking spaces, setting up personal charging stations is often not an option. Even public charging stations have their own set of challenges. They are often located in out-of-the-way places, are in short supply, and can be subject to long waits, particularly during peak times. What does all of this mean? It means that the current EV charging infrastructure is, quite simply, not ready for a mass shift to electric vehicles. We're still in the early stages of this transition, and the road ahead is filled with challenges. But we believe in the potential of EVs, and we know that with the right planning and investment, we can overcome these hurdles. The reality is, our cities are not yet equipped to handle a sudden surge in EVs. Consider New York City, one of the world's most bustling metropolises. This city that never sleeps, with its iconic skyscrapers and relentless energy, is home to over 8 million people. Yet, despite its reputation as a global trendsetter, the Big Apple faces substantial challenges in fostering a comprehensive electric vehicle (EV) charging infrastructure. Let's take a closer look. New York City has taken strides towards promoting electric vehicle adoption, yet a worrying trend emerges when we delve into the specifics. The current charging infrastructure is woefully inadequate to meet the needs of the city's burgeoning EV population. This deficiency is not simply a matter of quantity, but also of quality and accessibility. Consider the lack of charging stations. While the city has made efforts to install more stations, the demand far outpaces the supply. The current number of charging stations is a drop in the ocean compared to the number of electric vehicles on the road, resulting in long wait times and limited accessibility for users. Then, there's the issue of charging times. Most of the available stations are level 2 chargers, which can take several hours to fully charge an electric vehicle. This becomes a major inconvenience for EV owners who need a quick top-up in the middle of a busy day. A higher concentration of level 3 chargers, which can charge an EV to 80% in less than an hour, would significantly improve the experience for users. Finally, we can't overlook the problem of inadequate power supply. The city's aging electric grid struggles to keep up with the growing demand from EV charging stations, leading to power shortages and blackouts. This not only disrupts the charging process, but also raises serious concerns about the city's ability to sustainably support a widespread transition to electric vehicles. Despite its status as a global city, New York struggles to provide ample EV charging options. It's a complex issue, one that requires thoughtful planning and substantial investment. But if any city can rise to the challenge, it's this one. After all, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. How do these gaps in infrastructure impact EV adoption? This question is not only central to the conversation, but also pivotal to the growth and success of the electric vehicle industry. Let's delve into the consequences of inadequate charging infrastructure. At the heart of it, it's a matter of confidence and convenience. Imagine you're considering the switch to an electric vehicle. You're excited about the prospect of reducing your carbon footprint, and you're ready for the sleek design and the smooth ride. But then you start to wonder, where am I going to charge this thing? If you live in an urban area without access to home charging, and the nearest public charging station is miles away, that's a significant hurdle. It's like buying a cell phone with no outlet to charge it at home. This lack of infrastructure can seriously undermine consumer confidence, making potential buyers think twice before making the switch. Moreover, the impact of these gaps extends beyond individual consumer decisions. When it comes to urban planning and development, the availability of EV charging stations is a crucial consideration. Urban planners play a vital role in addressing these issues. It's about more than just placing charging stations on a map. It's about understanding the needs of the community, the flow of traffic, and the patterns of daily life. In essence, an efficient charging infrastructure should be as ubiquitous and accessible as gas stations are today. Urban planners, therefore, have the opportunity to shape the future of transportation, making it more sustainable and inclusive. However, we have to remember that building an effective charging infrastructure is a complex task. It requires coordination between multiple stakeholders, from city officials and urban planners to EV manufacturers and utility companies. So it's clear that gaps in EV charging infrastructure can have far-reaching consequences. They can deter potential EV adopters, hinder the growth of the EV market, and slow down our progress towards a more sustainable future. Without convenient and reliable charging, many potential EV owners are understandably hesitant. And it's up to us to change that. So, what's the way forward, you might ask? As we grapple with the challenges of charging infrastructure for electric vehicles, we find that the solutions lie in cooperation, innovation, and strategic planning. Let's start with the role of the public and private sectors. Both have a critical part to play in developing a more robust charging infrastructure. Government agencies can provide the policy framework and incentives to encourage the growth of charging stations. They can implement regulations that mandate the inclusion of charging facilities in new constructions or renovations. On the other hand, private companies, from automakers to energy firms, can invest in charging station networks. They can bring their expertise, innovation, and resources to create efficient, user-friendly charging solutions. Partnerships between public and private entities can also prove fruitful, combining the strengths of both sectors to overcome the challenges we face. Technology, as always, has a significant role to play. One promising avenue is wireless charging, which could potentially allow electric vehicles to charge while on the move, reducing the need for stationary charging stations. Another is the development of ultra-fast chargers that can recharge a car's battery in minutes rather than hours. We can also consider strategies like grid optimization, which involves integrating charging stations into the existing electricity grid in a way that balances supply and demand, preventing blackouts and ensuring a steady supply of power. Furthermore, we could leverage data analytics to understand usage patterns and identify optimal locations for new charging stations, ensuring that they are placed where they are most needed. The road ahead is not without its obstacles, but it is these very challenges that drive us to innovate, to collaborate, and to plan strategically for the future. The path to a fully electric future may be bumpy, but with strategic planning and investment, we can pave the way for a cleaner, greener world. In conclusion, the transition to electric vehicles is more than just a technological shift. It's a cultural and societal change that requires a comprehensive rethink of our infrastructure. Throughout this video, we've explored the current status of EV charging infrastructure, specifically the gaps that exist, and the impact of these gaps on EV adoption. We've delved into the case study of New York City, highlighting the challenges and opportunities that a bustling metropolis presents in terms of building an accessible, efficient, and sustainable charging network. We've also looked at the road ahead, emphasizing the role of collaboration and innovation in overcoming these hurdles. The success of electric vehicles hinges on the adequacy and accessibility of charging infrastructure. It's not just about having more EVs on the road, but also ensuring they can be charged conveniently and efficiently. The road to electrification is a journey we must take together, urban planners, policymakers, and citizens alike. The future is electric, and it starts with building the right infrastructure today.